We're kind of calling it the Trump slump, to be honest with you. We've lost our international travelers, we've lost Canadians, we've lost you name it. On top of that, the amount of people that are coming here, they're just not spending as much.
What do you mean? I thought the United States could survive off of domestic tourism. That's what these guys said.
Also, of course, like, we could survive without a ton of international tourism. I think the tourism industry in America, and I don't know this as a fact, but I think our tourism industry is more based on domestic tourism.
I'll never get sick of using these two clowns in my videos. But this guy here, he works as a bellman at the Cosmopolitan Hotel. And this is one of the few times we've actually heard the truth come out of Las Vegas. I'll trust the rank and file staff any day over any Las Vegas tourism official or CEO. So I'll show the rest of this report in this video. I also have another follow-up video out of Port Angeles, where they are getting ready to welcome the Canadians from Victoria. If you're not aware of this, last year they had a party for us, and they're doing it again this year. And the last report I have is out of Prescott, Ontario, where they are talking to citizens on whether or not they're crossing over the Ogdensburg Bridge to go visit their friends in the United States. So we'll talk about all of these in today's video. Now the backdrop for today, I have to say this one's an awesome one. This one came from Norm, who took this photo along Highway 17 in Webwood, Ontario. He mentioned that he took it last year in June. I'm actually curious to see if it's still there or not. So if anybody is in the area of Highway 17 and Webwood, let me know if this is still up. Thanks again, Norm, for sending this over. And just a reminder to everyone, the petitions I'm featuring, they're in the description below, so check it out if you have time. Okay, let's get started with the first report out of Las Vegas by Reuters.
Las Vegas tour guide Michael Hillman says the city feels noticeably different on weekdays.
Normally I used to walk through here and see hundreds of people, even on the regular days, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. But now Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, small.
Las Vegas drew about 3.1 million fewer visitors in 2025, a 7.5% drop. It's the sharpest decline outside the pandemic since record-keeping began in 1970, according to the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. While conventions are holding up and weekends may still feel like peak Vegas, the weakness is leisure. Higher-income travelers keep booking, while households feeling the pinch pull back. And in a city powered by leisure spending, that shows up in hotel pricing, flight schedules, and paychecks.
Now I want to go back to the B-roll footage of that parking lot that they just showed. I'm not sure exactly which hotel parking lot this is, but it might be the Bellagio or the Venetian, one of the two. But either way, there should be cars in here, and we can only see one right now for the whole parking lot. I'm not cherry picking this photo. You guys saw the footage. It was empty. But the fact that it's empty tells me that a lot of people who normally would be driving into Las Vegas from California or wherever else are simply not doing that either. I mean, there's not even rental cars there for people who fly in. I'm just showing the clues here, and everyone watching right now can make their own conclusion on what's going on.
Officials, analysts, workers, and visitors cite a mix of political unease and high prices for the decline.
We're kind of calling it the Trump slump, to be honest with you.
Joe Spica is a bellman at the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas and a union shop steward.
We've lost our international travelers, we've lost Canadians, we've lost you name it. On top of that, the amount of people that are coming here, they're just not spending as much.
Cirium data shows U.S. carriers have about 7% fewer seats scheduled into Las Vegas for the first quarter of 2026 than a year earlier. International visitors matter disproportionately because they stay longer and spend more. And they're pulling back too. Canadian carriers have cut capacity for the quarter by about 30%, as some Canadians have shown greater reluctance to make the trip south amid political tensions, including fallout from U.S. tariffs and immigration-related policies.
Now, if you're Canadian, a lot of this we already know. But let's not forget that this report is by Reuters, and their audience is different. And to be honest, I'm actually glad they're reporting this, because it's going out to an international community instead of just being based in Canada or the United States.
Officials and executives say Las Vegas is coming off 2 straight record years and is now settling into a more balanced market. The shift is most visible in the middle of the week, when hotels build steady volume. CoStar Group data shows midweek revenue per available room fell about 11% in 2025. MGM Resorts this month said profit and revenue at its Las Vegas resorts fell in the fourth quarter of 2025, citing outside weakness at its value-oriented properties, even as executives say trends are improving into 2026. Economists say the next test comes this spring.
Okay, I really want to know why these execs think that 2026 is actually going to be better. There's not a single thing in the United States, domestically or even internationally, that is helping the situation right now. And to be honest, anytime the orange dictator decides to open his mouth, or anyone in the US administration, things get worse. So let me know in the comments, where do you guys think these executives are getting the idea that things are going to get better in 2026? Am I just clueless? Or are they lying? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below.
As households book summer travel,
Southern California tourism is the lifeblood for Las Vegas across the board.
Ted Papageorge, Secretary-Treasurer of the Culinary Workers Union Local 226, said there are already signs those customers are staying away.
This whole tariff question, this question of the cost of living, this militarization of the whole immigration policy, in addition to tough stance on travel and tourism into this country, has just become a perfect storm.
With the top 10% of earners driving consumer spending, economists warn recession risks can rise if affluent, market-linked spending suddenly cools.
Give a little kiss if you want.
So it's clear to me that Las Vegas is still struggling, just like any other tourist destination in the United States. And reports like these, every time I see them, as bad as it sounds, it actually makes me feel good. Because I know that our boycott, not just ours in Canada, but the international community as well, I know that our boycott is making an effect. I know I've had comments in the past saying that these reports are repetitive, but I don't see it that way. Because as long as these reports are showing, and as long as the world is knowing that, hey, Las Vegas is in trouble, then I know personally that our efforts are still making a big impact. I don't want this stuff to become out of sight, out of mind. Now moving on to the next report, Port Angeles in Washington is getting ready to welcome Canadians from Victoria, and they're throwing another party for Canadians. Let's take a look.
The Coho Ferry is back in service after its winter break, and its first trip of the day took U.S. travelers across the strait to Victoria.
The last time I came here, I made the joke, like, I feel 5 pounds lighter, the air feels cleaner, but like, it's like so genuine, because just America's not the greatest.
As people from the States arrive, the queue on the Canadian side grows for the cross-border trip to Washington.
I'm also here to meet my wife, who's in a rowboat down there, who rowed across the strait last night from Port Angeles, so she could be on the ferry in the morning when it showed up in Port Angeles and roll off for the party.
The party in question is a repeat of last year's greeting for Canadian travelers arriving in Port Angeles.
Now, I said in my last video that I commend these people for their efforts. But unfortunately, this is bigger than just Victoria and Port Angeles meeting together. Because while these US citizens will be there to greet our Canadians coming off the ferry, there will be an equal amount of US citizens that do not want us there. Now, you may have noticed that I'm starting to show these maps a little bit more. And I'm not showing it to spread hate. I'm showing it to spread what the actual reality is. Because not all blue states are blue. Now, you can agree or disagree with me and let me know in the comments. But while I do appreciate the US citizens that do support Canada, unfortunately, the citizens on the right have ruined it. Okay, let me explain why. If you've been on my channel, you know that I have mentioned the incident that I had in Bellingham, where I was at the Costco, and then someone left a note on my car saying, "Go back to effing Canada." Back then, I never thought anything about it, and I threw that note away. And I literally forgot about it for over a decade. But ever since the beginning of last year, that note is stuck in my head now. I don't know who put it there. I don't know exactly which citizen did it. I don't know if this person owns a business that I used to shop at. Or I don't know if it's a person that owns a restaurant that I used to go to. Or if it's a staff that works at a business that I used to support. It's just the fact that I don't know who did it. So for those people in Washington State that do support Canada, and for those in Port Angeles that are welcoming our citizens, I appreciate the gesture. But unfortunately, it's people like those that left a note on my car that is ruining it for you guys. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm holding a grudge against it, but then I just tell myself, no, it's my principles. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think I'm holding a grudge, or do you think I'm just holding my principles?
They're just real happy seeing everybody kind of thing, because Port Angeles brings all sorts of people downtown. They love it.
Round 2 of the welcome party saw hundreds of people celebrating the Coho's arrival.
Our relationship doesn't need to change because of what's happening at the federal level.
Port Angeles' mayor says that doesn't mean her community is pushing Canadians to come over.
This is also just a reminder that we will be here to welcome them when they're ready.
A survey of more than 1,000 people shows roughly 6 in 10 Canadians are less likely to visit the U.S. this year than last year. The survey, commissioned by travel agency Flight Centre Canada, finds various factors are at play, including the political climate, safety concerns, and cost.
I don't blame you at all. I mean, we live it day to day. We understand, why people are turned off by the country right now.
I respect this guy's response because it's not full of exceptionalism or anything else. It's really telling the truth.
We know actually quite a few Canadians that are choosing not to travel right now, and it's reasonable.
Still, Port Angeles' mayor says there's reason for optimism.
I've been in some calls with local electeds from the Northwest region of Washington and Vancouver Island with the MP and our congressional representative. And those are relationships we might not have even had without this unfortunate circumstance at the federal level.
Now, I'm going to throw out a question that I know some of you might be thinking. Why does it take this situation that we're in right now for you to have a relationship with the MPs in Canada? I mean, why didn't we have it before? I'm just saying.
If today's party is any indication, she says the relationship between Port Angeles and Victoria could come out stronger than ever before. Anna McMillan, CTV News.
Sure, you might have a stronger relation with the MPs now that you're actually talking to them. But as a citizen, I'm not really too sure about that. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. Now, this last report comes out of Prescott, Ontario, and they talk about the changes in behavior when it comes to their neighbors to the south.
It appears many Canadians continue to boycott travel to the U.S. Trips at Eastern Ontario land border crossings were down in January for the 12th straight month. The Seaway Valley is home to 3 bridges, one in the Thousand Islands, another in Cornwall, and one in Prescott, all of which head into New York State. CTV's Tyler Fleming spent the day in Prescott speaking with residents and joins us now. Tyler.
Yeah, Stefan, the Prescott-Ogdensburg crossing has seen the steepest drop, where trips are down more than 25% compared to last year. And while it seems politics do play a big role, prices are driving the drop too. In the town of Prescott, these days the road less traveled is actually a bridge, the one going to Ogdensburg, New York.
I drive past the border every single day when I go to work, so 5 days a week, and it's considerably down.
Now, for those Canadians watching right now, how many of you are genuinely happy to hear that? Because I know I am. Because I'm tired of these haters saying that there's so many Canadians still going down without any proof.
For many, like Kelly Windsor, life in a border town comes with frequent trips to the United States.
I used to go about once a month for dinner and maybe some shopping, and I guess since last January, I haven't really traveled across very much at all.
There's thousands of Canadians doing the same. Border traffic here at the Prescott-Ogdensburg Bridge is dropping fast. Just over 14,000 crossings in January, down from nearly 20,000 a year ago, with declines continuing each month. But Bob Miller's habits haven't changed.
I go across the border here quite a lot.
He's got friends on the other side, Americans.
It's never about the people. It's the White House.
Sorry, Bob. I totally disagree with you. Yes, it is about the White House, but it is also about the people as well. Like the person who left a note on my car. Now, I have friends in the United States as well, and my friends understand. Well, except my friend in Nevada. He's a bit dense. But the friends that do understand know why we're not coming across the border. And they're actively telling us not to go. It's not safe for us. So I'm sorry, Bob, but it is about the people.
While political tensions are keeping more Canadians home,
they're hurt.
Soaring prices south of the border aren't helping.
It used to be affordable, not so much anymore. Pricing in the States is the same as it is in Canada, and then you pay the exchange rate on top. 36 to 40 cents on the dollar is very significant.
Canadians want value for their money, and right now
I really hate this guy.
The U.S. may not be offering that.
The latest data from U.S. Customs and Border Protection shows while air travel between the two countries is down, the real turbulence is at land crossings.
If the exchange rate is going to hurt you, if shopping in the U.S. is going to cost you more because of tariffs, it's like, what's the point?
Okay, I want to go back to this guy. Now he's actually saying that what's the point of Canadians going down to the United States? Whereas only a few months ago, he was touting and promoting Orlando. Let me show you that video in case you missed it.
One of the most popular things to do is to zip line over gators. Now, understandably, that's not for everyone. Alternatively, you can go kayaking over crystal clear waters, and you can even go snorkeling with manatees, which I think is really cool. What I also love about Orlando is the neighborhoods. This is Winter Park that you're seeing.
Now, I get that last video that he did was a paid promotion, and I don't agree with CTV actually agreeing to it, but I can't stand this flipping back and forth.
In Canada, obviously grocery prices are inflating, and everyone's trying to keep a hold of their dollar in their pocket as much as they can.
Travel experts suggest trips south could pick up again, but that may hinge on the dollar, inflation, and what happens with the ongoing tariff dispute.
I don't know about you guys, but I seriously want to pull my hair out every time I hear something about the dollar. But I'm not surprised. It is CTV. My key takeaway from this was nothing that the reporter said. It was a Canadian citizen who said that the bridge traffic is considerably down, and that makes me happy. Okay, that's all I got for today's video. I do want to mention one thing though. I really appreciate everyone's feedback when I asked the question on whether I should split up my videos or just keep multiple topics per video. The overwhelming feedback from the comments was just keep everything the same. Don't change anything. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I only ask because I am getting people who are sending me reports that I've already done in the past videos. So I'll just keep everything the way it is right now. And I do appreciate everyone's encouragement and support. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian perspective with no US bias, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below so that you're notified of my future videos. Thanks everyone. I'll see you in the next one.